The afternoon sun streamed through the living room window, softly illuminating the scene. Sarah stood slightly apart, observing her parents as they beamed with undisguised pride, presenting a vibrant bouquet of flowers to her younger sister, Emily. The air hummed with a quiet celebration, a deep familial happiness that, for Sarah, felt strangely weighted. Emily, barely out of her teens, accepted the tribute with a modest smile, her eyes sparkling with quiet joy. For as long as Sarah could recall, Emily had consistently been the family's academic prodigy, a beacon of intellectual wisdom. Her path seemed effortlessly brilliant, leading towards a future promising great wealth of knowledge and perhaps even material success. Then the clear, resonant voice of the distinguished professor cut through the soft murmurs. "She is the youngest in our research team," he announced, his gaze sweeping the gathering, settling with evident admiration on Emily. This pronouncement brought a chorus of delighted gasps. For Sarah, a complex symphony of emotions ignited in her chest. There was an undeniable surge of pride for her sister, a deep affection for Emily's genuine gifts. Yet intertwined with this pride was an overwhelming weight, a heavy blanket descending upon her own aspirations. It was a subtle, almost imperceptible pressure, but profoundly present. This moment, marked by flowers and a proud declaration, was a poignant beginning for Sarah. It was the genesis of a pivotal chapter in her own life, a journey poised to unveil a deeper understanding of herself, moving beyond the perceived shadows of another's brilliance. Her path, far from conventional, was about to unfold, promising a rich tapestry of experiences, trials, and triumphs, leading towards her unique source of genuine happiness and profound joy. As her narrative truly began, it was clear this was a story that demanded attention, inviting deep engagement from anyone willing to follow its intricate development. To miss a single step, a single revelation, would be to miss the very heart of her transformation. Indeed, one would be drawn to it, compelled to acknowledge its unfolding, much like an eager observer compelled to like the very essence of a compelling tale. From the tender age of childhood, it had been undeniably clear to everyone around Sarah that her younger sister, Emily, possessed a brilliance that set her apart. Emily was, in every sense of the word, the family's academic prodigy, a star that shone with an almost blinding intensity. Her earliest accomplishments were often recounted with a mix of wonder and immense pride. She seemed to grasp complex concepts with an effortless grace, her grades were consistently perfect, and accolades arrived with a regularity that became an expected part of their lives. While there was always genuine affection, Sarah, on her own parallel path, invariably found her own achievements, no matter how commendable, subtly, yet consistently, overshadowed. It was not a grand, dramatic eclipse, but rather a persistent, quiet dimming of her own light whenever Emily's brilliance was in full display. Sarah might have aced a difficult exam or finished a challenging art project with flair, but the subsequent conversations, the shared joy within the family, often circled back, almost instinctively, to Emily's latest triumph. This created a profound, albeit unspoken, contrast in their respective journeys. Sarah found herself constantly striving for a level of recognition that seemed to come so naturally to her sister, a recognition that felt like a form of emotional wealth, always just beyond her grasp. The pure, unadulterated happiness that should have accompanied her personal successes often felt diluted, mingled with an awareness that her accomplishments, though valid, never quite garnered the same awe or widespread celebration. There was a lingering question within her, a silent query about whether she could ever truly achieve a profound sense of self-worth when pitted against such an effortlessly shining star. This dynamic, subtly woven into the fabric of their upbringing, profoundly shaped Sarah's developing sense of self, leaving her in a perpetual state of quiet contemplation. She yearned for a distinct form of joy, one untainted by comparison, and for a deeper understanding, a kind of personal wisdom that would allow her to forge her own path, irrespective of the brilliant shadow cast by her gifted sibling. The environment fostered a subtle competition, not out of malice, but from an almost unconscious societal valuing of conventional academic brilliance, causing Sarah to quietly question where her own true happiness resided and how she might cultivate a sense of inherent value, separate from the dazzling glow of Emily's remarkable and often celebrated intellect. Sarah found herself in a job that offered security but no contentment. Each morning, the thought of another day spent on unfulfilling tasks filled her with a deep sense of inertia. It was a role without challenge or creative outlet, a monotonous routine that felt entirely meaningless. Her colleagues were fine, the office tolerable, but the lack of passion steadily eroded her spirit. She went through the motions, a small cog in a large machine, while her mind yearned for something more, something that resonated with a deeper part of her soul. This wasn't the life she had imagined, nor one that promised true happiness. The weight of expectations pressed down on her, an invisible but suffocating burden. Her family, supportive yet traditional, valued stable careers and visible signs of success. Society reinforced this, equating professional advancement with personal fulfillment. Sarah, by her own assessment, felt she was failing on both counts. She saw peers climbing ladders, acquiring wealth and radiating accomplishment, while she remained stuck, drifting without direction. The unspoken question lingered, what are you doing with your life, Sarah? The pressure to find her own version of success, to carve a path that brought both financial stability and spiritual satisfaction, was relentless. It wasn't just external, it was a constant, exhausting internal interrogation. She desperately sought inspiration, a guiding light to show a different way forward, but it remained stubbornly out of reach. Her days blurred into a monotonous cycle, leaving little room for introspection or new interests. The creative spark that once defined her youth felt extinguished, buried under routine and resignation. She envied those who effortlessly found their calling, who woke up eager to pursue passions. For Sarah, work was merely a necessity, and the absence of joy created a void no material comfort could fill. She longed for the kind of wisdom that would allow her to see beyond her current limitations, to understand what she truly desired. But the path ahead seemed shrouded in fog, and every attempt to break free felt futile. She knew she couldn't continue this way, but the exit remained agonizingly unclear. The struggle was real, and the road to finding herself felt endlessly long. Sarah encontrava-se aprisionada ciclo de monotonia, sus dias trabalho desprovido de sentido esmicendo per cinza indistinguible. As cors vibrans de su passado artístico perciam memorias distants, obscuras it is pela busca implacável por estabilidade e pelas expectativas, nauditas que passivem saber ela. Sentia deriva, procurando por propósito queresos com seu espírito, uma fonte genuína de felicidade para além das rotinas superficiais de sua existência atual. O caminho convencional que havia escolhido, embora promptes certo tipo de riqueza percebida termos de segurança, oferecia pouco termos de verdadeira realização, alegria interior. Certa tarde enquanto falhiva distraidamente uma pequena exposição de arte durante seu intervalo para o almoço, uma voz familiar tirou de sua contemplação. Sarah, e acute mesmo vocer, ela se virou para encontrar o Sr. Davies, seu antigo professor de arte do ensino médio, cujos olhos amáveis ainda guardavam o mesmo entusiasmo tranquilo que ela lembrava. Ela foi a primeira pessoa que realmente viu seu potencial além das notas acadêmicas, que nutriu suas primeiras incursos na pintura com encorajamento genuíno e crítica perspicaz. Sua aparição inesperada parecia uma brisa suave dissipando uma nevoa densa, revelando vislumbres de uma paisagem esquecida dentro de lá. A breve conversa deles foi simples, mas profundamente impactante. O Sr. Davies, com sua característica sabedoria não se aprofundou sua vida atual, mas, em vez disso, rememorou seus dias de estudante. Sua paixão pela arte, Sarah ela observou livre sorriso brincando seus lábios, sempre foi tal vívida. Vocer tinha uma maneira única de se expressar, uma perspectiva que realmente se destacava. E eu sempre me perguntei o que aconteceu com aquela faísca. Suas palavras, relembrando seu talento bruto e intensa dedicação, que ela dia dedicara aos seus esforços criativos, foram como uma chave destrincando comodo esquecido sua mente. Ela falava não de sucesso financeiro, mas do valor intrínseco de seguir o chamado mais profundo, de encontrar tipo diferente de riqueza na vida, que não era medido por moda, mas por engajamento de alma. O encontro foi breve, mas sua ressonância permaneceu muito depois que ela deixou sua galeria. A recordação espontânea do Sr. Davies sobre seu espírito artístico fez olhar para sua vida atual como olhar renovado e crítico. Era essa trajetória que ela realmente desejava. A crença dele seu passado, na profundidade de sua expressão artística, recendiu uma chama adormecida de ambição. Não foi uma resolução imediata, mas poderoso questionamento havia começado. A conversa não forneceu respostas, mas expôs o abismo entre quem ela era agora e quem ela sentia que poderia ser. A semente sonho esquecido, regada pelo simples reconhecimento de professor, havia começado a se agitar, desafiando a complicância que se instalara seu caminho e insinuando retorno, uma jornada guiada pela autêntica autodescoberta e pela busca de sentido mais profundo de realização. Sarah embarked on her chosen creative path with a fragile mix of hope and apprehension. The initial encounter with her former art professor had stirred something deep within her, a dormant desire to create, to express, to finally chase a dream that felt authentically hers. Yet the reality of putting brush to canvas or pen to paper proved far more daunting than the romanticized vision in her mind. Her studio, a small corner carved out of her modest apartment, quickly became a battleground of ambition versus tangible output. Each morning she approached her chosen medium with a sense of hopeful trepidation, eager to translate the vivid images that flickered in her imagination into something concrete. But the results were rarely what she envisioned. Strokes went awry, colors mudded, and compositions felt clumsy and amateurish. It was not merely the challenge of learning a new skill. It was the gnawing sensation that perhaps she simply lacked the inherent talent, the natural flair that seemed to flow so effortlessly from others. The frustration became a constant companion. It clung to her, a heavy shroud dimming the light of inspiration she had fleetingly felt. There were days when she questioned everything, wondering if she had made a terrible mistake in abandoning the security, however unsatisfying, of her old job. The whispers of doubt grew louder with every failed attempt, echoing the anxieties that had always lingered in the background of her life. Was this really her path, or was she simply deluding herself, chasing an elusive dream that was never truly meant for her? Each canvas, each sketch seemed to mock her efforts, a stark reminder of her perceived inadequacies. She yearned for the kind of immediate joy and effortless progress she imagined truly gifted individuals experienced. The initial spark that had ignited this journey began to flicker, threatened by the cold winds of self-criticism. The idea of true happiness, of finding a fulfilling purpose, felt increasingly distant, slipping further away with each disheartening setback. She desperately sought a sense of inner wealth, a richness of spirit that could sustain her through these difficult times, but it remained out of reach. The wisdom to persevere, to see beyond the immediate failures, seemed to elude her. Instead, a pervasive sense of inadequacy settled deep within her, a fear that perhaps she was not and never would be good enough. She tried to tell herself that mistakes were part of the learning process, that patience was key, but the internal critic was relentless. The gap between her aspirations and her current capabilities felt vast and unbridgeable, feeding the very insecurities she had hoped this new venture would conquer. Every crumpled paper, every discarded piece served as tangible proof, or so her mind convinced her, that her deepest fears were valid. The struggle was not just external with the materials and techniques. It was an internal battle against the shadows of self-doubt that relentlessly pursued her, threatening to extinguish the fragile flame of her renewed ambition. Sarah had always observed Emily from a distance, seeing only the gleaming surface of her achievements. To Sarah, Emily was the epitome of effortless success, her life a steady ascent toward recognition and fulfillment. This perception, however, was about to be profoundly challenged. Emily surprisingly suggested they meet for coffee, a rare spontaneous act from her usually guarded sister. Though initial small talk felt strained, as their conversation slowly unfolded, something crucial shifted. Emily, typically reserved about her professional life, spoke with unusual candor. She confessed the relentless pressure as the youngest, needing to constantly overperform. The prodigy image crumbled, revealing a young woman burdened by expectations. Emily spoke of overwhelming stress, sleepless nights, and the isolating nature of her pursuit. She shared the weight of responsibility and fear of a single mistake jeopardizing years of effort. Sarah listened, seeing Emily vulnerable and human. Sarah had always viewed Emily's successes as inherent wealth, rich opportunities. Now she understood this perceived wealth came at considerable personal cost. Emily admitted how academic pursuit overshadowed her personal happiness. She confessed to profound loneliness amidst triumphs, and how joy seemed elusive, replaced by constant pressure. Emily then revealed the immense expectations, both external and self-imposed. She often found herself the only young woman in intimidating, accomplished rooms, needing to constantly demonstrate her wisdom. This pressure, she admitted, sometimes stifled curiosity and made her fear risks, ironic for a scientist. The raw, moving conversation shattered Emily's facade, revealing the person beneath the genius. Sarah saw not just the academic star, but Emily with her own fears and struggles. The barrier of unspoken comparisons began to dissolve. For the first time, Sarah felt a genuine connection, not as a rival, but as an individual facing unique challenges. This understanding laid groundwork for a deeper, authentic relationship built on mutual respect and shared humanity. Sarah had always possessed a subtle quietness, a trait that had recently deepened into a profound stillness. Her parents, keenly perceptive, noticed the change. The vibrant energy that once defined her, though often overshadowed by Emily's academic brilliance, had noticeably dimmed. Her shoulders seemed to carry an unseen burden, and her eyes, once alight with a quiet determination for her artistic pursuits, now held a weariness that worried them. It was a silent observation, but one filled with genuine concern. One evening, as the familiar comfort of their home settled around them, Sarah's silence felt heavier than usual. Her mother, exchanging a subtle glance with her father, gently initiated a conversation. It was a dialogue free from comparisons or expectations, centered purely on Sarah. They spoke of their deep love and their unwavering belief in her inherent worth. There was no mention of Emily's recent triumphs, nor any implicit suggestion of what Sarah should be striving for. Their words were a balm designed to soothe the unspoken anxieties that had quietly plagued Sarah for so long. Her father, usually reserved, spoke with an unexpected warmth. He reminded her that their greatest desire for her was genuine happiness. He carefully explained that true wealth was not simply accumulated in professional accolades or material possessions, but in the authentic joy found within one's daily life, in the passionate pursuit of what genuinely resonated with one's soul. He imparted a profound wisdom, emphasizing the importance of self-discovery and the courage to forge one's own unique path, irrespective of external norms. He underlined that personal fulfillment was a deeply individual quest. They offered a safe space of unconditional acceptance, a sanctuary where Sarah could finally breathe without the suffocating pressure she had unknowingly carried. Their genuine support was palpable, a comforting embrace that began to dissolve the layers of self-doubt built up over years. For too long, Sarah had felt perpetually not enough, living under the shadow of perceived expectations. But in this moment, those expectations vanished, replaced by pure, unconditional love. Her parents encouraged her not to achieve a specific milestone, but simply to be herself, to discover what truly brought her contentment. They reassured her that her journey held intrinsic value, independent of external validation, rooted instead in her own inner peace and blossoming happiness. This profound understanding from them was a precious gift, far outweighing any material success, and it significantly alleviated the heavy, invisible burden she had silently endured. It was a pivotal turning point, subtly redirecting her path towards her own unique destiny. Sarah had been toiling away, day after day, on her newfound creative path. The initial enthusiasm, sparked by her old art professor, had been quickly tempered by the harsh reality of self-doubt and the relentless cycle of trial and error. She had poured her energy into various designs, some sketches remaining incomplete, others crumpled and discarded in frustration, echoing the anxieties of her unfulfilling past. The weight of those past failures often felt suffocating, turning every blank page into a daunting symbol of her insecurities. Yet she persevered, driven by a faint hope that perhaps she could find her footing in this uncharted territory. One quiet afternoon, as sunlight streamed into her small workspace, she revisited a particular design, one that had stubbornly resisted her efforts for weeks. It was an intricate pattern, deceptively simple but incredibly complex to bring to life. She had tried countless variations, each attempt falling short of the vision she held in her mind's eye. This time, however, something shifted. A subtle change in technique, a slight adjustment to the proportions she had never considered before, and suddenly the lines began to flow. The elements which had previously seemed disjointed now harmonized, creating a cohesive and aesthetically pleasing form. It was not a grand masterpiece, nor was it a project destined for immediate fame or a significant boost in her material wealth. Instead, it was a quiet, internal triumph. A profound sense of relief washed over her, followed swiftly by a burgeoning wave of confidence. This single, small breakthrough tangibly manifested her persistence. For the first time in a long time, Sarah felt a genuine surge of joy bubbling up from within her, far removed from the forced contentment she sometimes feigned. This wasn't about external validation, it was about internal proof. Her hands, which had often felt clumsy and uncertain, now seemed imbued with a newfound purpose. The anxieties that had clung to her like a second skin began to recede, replaced by a quiet sense of accomplishment. She gazed at the finished piece, a sense of deep happiness radiating through her, a warmth that had been missing for so long. It was a clear, undeniable sign that she possessed the capacity to learn, to grow, and to create something meaningful. This moment served as a vital lesson in wisdom, illustrating that progress, no matter how small, could pave the way for greater achievements. It propelled her to believe more fiercely in her own capabilities, confirming that the arduous path she had chosen was indeed her own, and that every effort, every small step, was contributing to a valuable, unique tapestry of her life. The doubt that had shadowed her artistic endeavors for so long finally began to lift, making way for a brighter, more confident outlook on her journey. The quiet hum of satisfaction was a powerful impetus, whispering promises of future potential and reinforcing her resolve. Sarah had finally begun to feel a burgeoning sense of accomplishment, a quiet triumph that had been elusive for so long. The small advancements in her creative pursuit, mere whispers of success, had filled her with a rare and fragile joy. It was a feeling she cherished, proof that she was perhaps on the right track, that her efforts were not in vain. But just as this delicate bloom of confidence started to unfurl, an unforeseen storm gathered. A sudden, daunting financial setback materialized, an unexpected bill, or perhaps a significant, unforeseen expense related to the very materials her new project demanded. The precise nature of the issue was less important than its immediate, suffocating impact. It wasn't a minor inconvenience, but a gaping hole in the foundation she was trying to lay. This unforeseen drain on her modest savings brought a wave of profound anxiety, chilling the warmth of her newfound happiness. The reality was stark. Her burgeoning creative endeavor, the very thing that had begun to define her rekindled purpose, was now directly imperiled. This was no abstract fear, but a tangible, undeniable obstacle that loomed large, casting a long shadow over her nascent aspirations. It forced her to confront the brutal truth that passion alone, while powerful, often required a foundation of practical means, a level of financial wealth she simply did not possess. Every calculation, every scenario led to the same disheartening conclusion. Continuing her project at the pace or scale she envisioned seemed almost impossible. The weight of this financial burden pressed down, testing her resolve in a way emotional struggles never had. It was a critical juncture, a moment of truth that probed the depths of her persistence. Did she truly want this path enough to fight through such a formidable barrier? Was the wisdom she had gained about her own desires sufficient to guide her through this practical quagmire? The question echoed relentlessly. How much was this new direction truly worth, if it demanded such a daunting sacrifice or presented such an insurmountable challenge? The vibrant colors of her artistic vision began to dull under the harsh light of economic reality, leaving her profoundly uncertain about her capacity to navigate this sudden and severe downturn. Sarah felt a profound anxiety, a sudden financial obstacle threatening to extinguish the creative spark she had painstakingly ignited. The path ahead seemed utterly obscure, the weight of responsibility crushing as she questioned her ability to overcome it alone. Despair, cold and isolating, began to seep into her resolve, casting long shadows over her nascent hopes for a new direction. She felt overwhelmed, grappling with the fear that her dream might collapse before it truly began, trapped by an unforeseen circumstance. Just as isolation threatened to consume her, her loyal friend Maria intuitively sensed Sarah's struggle. Maria, embodying practical wisdom and unwavering support, approached Sarah with a non-judgmental ear. As Sarah confided the full extent of her predicament, Maria's response was actionable advice, not mere sympathy. She tirelessly helped Sarah explore potential grants and investigate flexible work options. Maria's steady presence and resourceful thinking brought a much-needed wave of happiness, reminding Sarah she was not alone. This collaboration immediately lightened Sarah's burden, providing tangible relief and hope where only doubt had lingered. Maria's assistance, freely given, began to carve a path through the financial wilderness, demonstrating the power of shared burdens. Then came the truly unexpected aid, Emily. Sarah, still navigating the complexities of their past dynamic, had initially hesitated to fully confide in her sister. Yet during a casual conversation, she found herself opening up. To Sarah's profound surprise, Emily, now demonstrating a deeper understanding of her sister's journey, listened intently. Emily's response was not just empathetic, but incredibly generous. Without a moment's hesitation, she offered a significant portion of her personal savings, accumulated from her research stipends, as a temporary loan. This remarkable act of kindness from Emily, once viewed solely as the distant prodigy, filled Sarah with an overwhelming sense of joy. It was more than financial relief. It was a powerful validation of Emily's belief in Sarah's creative path, solidifying their evolving relationship from subtle comparison to genuine mutual support and affection. With Maria's practical wisdom and Emily's crucial financial intervention, the once insurmountable obstacle began to perceptibly shrink. Sarah felt a profound shift, the oppressive weight on her shoulders noticeably easing. She understood that true wealth lay not merely in possessions, but in the rich tapestry of human relationships and the collective strength found in unity. The entire experience powerfully reinforced the invaluable lesson that facing challenges alone was unnecessary. There was immense strength, and indeed much enduring happiness, in accepting the generous support of those who genuinely cared. This pivotal realization cemented Sarah's understanding that her unique journey didn't have to be solitary. The solutions they collectively devised didn't just resolve a pressing problem, they profoundly reshaped Sarah's perspective, fostering a deeper sense of self-acceptance and fortifying her spirit for the continued blossoming of her personal and creative life. The shared effort forged a stronger bond, built on trust and affection, proving indispensable for her ongoing growth. Sarah had faced a formidable obstacle, one that had initially cast a dark shadow over her newfound creative pursuits. The unexpected financial burden threatened to derail everything she had worked so hard to build. For a moment, despair felt familiar, tempting her back to giving up. But this time, something was different. The seeds of self-belief, nurtured through small victories and genuine support, had begun to sprout. With the collective efforts of a loyal friend and even Emily's surprising assistance, solutions were meticulously pieced together. The financial problem, once a towering wall, was systematically dismantled. Its resolution was more than a logistical triumph. It was a profound personal victory that echoed deep within her spirit. Overcoming that specific challenge, which had seemed insurmountable just weeks before, truly solidified Sarah's nascent self-confidence. It wasn't merely an intellectual understanding, but a visceral feeling that settled comfortably in her chest. She had confronted a significant fear, grappled with it, and emerged victorious. This experience instilled in her a renewed sense of capability, a quiet assurance that she could indeed navigate life on her own terms. Lingering doubts that had shadowed her steps for years began to fade, replaced by a clear, undeniable sense of empowerment. She started to truly accept herself, not just the easy parts, but her whole, authentic self with all her strengths, vulnerabilities, and evolving passions. This acceptance was a cornerstone of true happiness, a deep contentment originating from within, independent of external validation or comparative achievements. The realization dawned on her with gentle yet powerful clarity. Her value was not, and never had been, tied to comparisons. For so long, Emily's brilliance had inadvertently set a benchmark, creating an invisible competition Sarah had unwittingly joined. She had constantly measured her worth against her sister's impressive trajectory. Now that paradigm had shattered. She understood, with a newfound wisdom that her journey was uniquely hers. It was a path carved by her own choices, shaped by her own experiences, and illuminated by her own burgeoning talents. There was no need to mimic, compete, or prove anything. Her personal growth was not a race, but a blossoming unfolding at its own pace. This profound insight brought immense joy to her daily life, a lightness of being she hadn't experienced in years. The burdens of expectation and comparison had lifted, revealing a clear sky filled with possibilities. It wasn't about accumulating material wealth in the traditional sense, but about cultivating a richness of spirit, a profound sense of purpose and inner peace. She was building her own kind of treasure, one intricately woven into the fabric of her passion and authenticity. This self-acceptance was the ultimate achievement, paving the way for a future where she could truly thrive. Sarah's life, once a quiet struggle against unseen currents and the subtle pressure of comparisons, had finally found its true north. With an unwavering focus on her passion, a profound sense of genuine satisfaction settled within her, a feeling far richer than any material gain. Her days were no longer consumed by uninspired tasks or the persistent weight of external expectations. Instead, they unfolded with clear purpose, each creative endeavor bringing an undeniable surge of joy that permeated her entire being. This newfound path was more than a mere interest. It was the essence of her existence, allowing authentic self-expression that had been stifled for too long. She had discovered an internal wealth that surpassed any worldly measure, a deep happiness cultivated from within. The transformation was not confined to her internal world. Her relationship with Emily, once subtly strained by unspoken comparisons, had beautifully blossomed into a bond grounded in profound mutual respect. The subtle competitiveness that had colored their past interactions had softened, replaced by a quiet admiration for each other's distinct strengths and chosen paths. Emily, understanding Sarah's journey, offered encouragement from a place of sincere connection. In turn, Sarah celebrated Emily's accomplishments with genuine pride, devoid of envy. A shared understanding grew between them. Their individual happiness did not diminish the others, but contributed to a more collective sense of familial well-being. This shift created a new richness in their sisterhood, a deep connection that nourished both their spirits with unexpected joy. Sarah often reflected on the path that led her here, recognizing the immense wisdom gained from every setback and hard-won victory. The initial frustrations, financial anxieties, and moments of self-doubt were not obstacles, but essential stepping stones in her personal evolution. They forged her resilience and deepened her understanding of what truly held value. She felt an overwhelming pride in her own growth, not for achieving something grand in the world's eyes, but for courageously choosing her unique path and discovering an authentic, enduring happiness within it. Her life, once in another's shadow, now shone brightly with its own steady light. This personal flourishing was a powerful testament to her courage, persistence, and profound self-acceptance, illustrating that the deepest joy springs from embracing one's unique destiny and nurturing the seeds of one's truest desires, leading to a life of true richness. Sarah continued to pour her heart into her creative endeavors, finding a profound sense of purpose that had long eluded her. Each brushstroke, each design, was not just an act of creation but a testament to her journey of self-discovery. The initial small victories had blossomed into a consistent stream of achievements, not necessarily grand in the eyes of the world, but deeply significant to her own evolving narrative. She no longer measured her worth against Emily's academic brilliance or any external yardstick. Instead, her personal happiness became the true metric of her success. This newfound fulfillment brought an inner wealth far more valuable than any material gain, enriching her spirit and daily life in ways she had never imagined possible. Her bond with Emily, once strained by unspoken comparisons, now thrived on genuine admiration and shared experiences. They would often meet not to discuss academic breakthroughs or career milestones, but to share vulnerabilities, laugh at old memories, and support each other's distinct paths. Emily, seeing Sarah's authentic joy, found a different kind of solace, realizing that true connection wasn't about competitive achievement, but about mutual understanding and love. Their parents, witnessing Sarah's transformation, radiated a quiet pride, having learned the wisdom that each child's path is unique and equally deserving of celebration. They saw their daughter not as a shadow, but as a vibrant individual, finally flourishing in her own light. Sarah's days were now filled with a vibrant energy, a sense of belonging to her own story. She understood that life's true treasures lay not in external validation, but in the courage to pursue what made her soul sing. You could see the serene confidence in her eyes, a quiet strength born from facing her fears and embracing her authentic self. Her story became a gentle reminder that the most profound journeys are often those that lead us back to ourselves, revealing a boundless capacity for resilience and a future shaped purely by passion. Sarah's creative endeavor had truly blossomed into something far beyond her initial expectations, bringing with it a profound and quiet sense of contentment. It wasn't merely a project, it had become an intrinsic part of her identity, shaping her days with purpose and a newfound ease. She often found herself smiling, a genuine, unbidden expression, simply from the quiet joy that now permeated her daily work. This deep satisfaction was a stark contrast to the hollow ambition that once drove her in a different, unfulfilling career. The previous struggles, those moments of doubt and perceived failure, had not vanished from her memory, but they had been beautifully transmuted into valuable lessons, forming the bedrock of a newfound wisdom. Sarah now understood with clear conviction that true wealth wasn't confined to financial gains or public accolades. Instead, it resided in the abundance of her self-discovery, the richness of her experiences, and the enduring strength of the authentic connections she had carefully cultivated. This realization brought an immense sense of freedom. Her bond with Emily, which had once been shadowed by unspoken comparisons, had transformed into a vibrant testament to unconditional love and mutual respect. They championed each other, openly acknowledging the distinct pressures and triumphs inherent in their very different, yet equally valid life paths. Sarah recognized that her journey toward genuine happiness had not been a linear sprint to a predetermined goal, but rather a winding, often surprising, exploration of her inner landscape. It was about embracing every twist and turn, every challenge and every small victory, each one a brushstroke on the canvas of her evolving self. She carried within her a profound sense of peace, knowing that she had meticulously crafted a life that authentically mirrored her deepest desires and values. This deep feeling of fulfillment wasn't fleeting, it permeated every fiber of her being, a quiet triumph in a world that so often prioritizes external achievements over internal harmony. She no longer sought validation from the outside world, for the most precious and resonant affirmation now resonated from within, a continuous, quiet celebration of her own unique and beautiful flourishing. The vibrant hues she now meticulously worked within her art seemed to perfectly mirror the rich, textured life she was actively creating for herself, a true masterpiece of her own intentional design, infused with a deep sense of purpose and an unwavering inner light. This was her definition of a truly rich and meaningful existence. Piso disculpas, Maza estrutura de capítulos fornecida vie penas até o capítulo 12. Paraque u passa desenvolver o capítulo 15 de forma coesa e fila narrativa, por favor, forneço resumo o adirso desejada para os capítulos 13, 14 e 15, o esclarecer se há engano na numeração, o se devo estender a história a partir do ponto final do capítulo 12. Sem essas informações adicionais, não consigo seguir a instrução de seguir a estrutura fielmente, e não desvirtuar do que concordamos inicialmente, pois o capítulo 15 não está definido na estrutura atual. Sarah's days now unfolded with a different rhythm, one dictated not by external pressures but by the quiet hum of her own creative pursuits. The small advancements that once felt like monumental breakthroughs had steadily accumulated, transforming her tentative project into a vibrant, self-sustaining endeavor. Her studio, once a corner of her cluttered apartment, was now a dedicated space, filled with the tools and materials of her passion, each item a testament to her persistent effort and blossoming skill. It wasn't about grand accolades or widespread fame, but about the profound satisfaction of bringing her unique visions to life. This quiet success, built on authenticity and dedication, brought a deep and abiding sense of personal happiness that permeated every aspect of her existence. She no longer measured her worth against Emily's brilliant academic achievements. Instead, she reveled in the richness of her own unique journey, finding a profound wealth in the freedom to pursue what truly ignited her spirit. The initial struggles, the doubts, and the financial anxieties now seemed like distant echoes, valuable lessons that had forged her resilience. She had learned that true fulfillment wasn't found in a predefined path, but in the courage to carve out her own. There was an unspoken wisdom in the way she approached challenges now, viewing them not as roadblocks but as opportunities for growth, understanding that setbacks were merely diversions on the winding road to self-discovery. Her relationship with Emily continued to evolve, shedding the last vestiges of competitive comparison. They shared a bond of genuine sisterhood, each celebrating the other's accomplishments without reservation. Emily, thriving in her research, often sought Sarah's perspective on matters beyond the scientific, valuing her creative insights and grounded nature. Their conversations were no longer shadowed by perceived inequalities, but brightened by mutual respect and affection. Sarah's parents, witnessing her transformation, radiated pride. Their support had shifted from gentle encouragement to an open admiration for the path she had forged. They saw not just a daughter who was doing well, but one who was genuinely content, embodying a different kind of success that resonated deeply within the family. This sense of peace and rightness was a constant source of joy, a quiet effervescence that bubbled beneath the surface of her daily life. She understood now that the greatest victories were often internal, marked by a blossoming confidence and an unwavering belief in her own unique capabilities. The material gains from her work, while not extravagant, were sufficient, providing a comfortable stability that allowed her to invest further in her craft and in the simple pleasures of life. This newfound balance, this alignment of passion and purpose, confirmed that she was exactly where she was meant to be, a testament to the power of perseverance and the profound peace found in living a life true to oneself. Years had unfolded since Sarah embraced her unique creative path, transforming the initial spark into a vibrant, sustainable fire. The anxieties that once consumed her, the relentless shadow of comparison, had long dissipated into the distant past. Her studio, once a symbol of audacious hope, now hummed with the quiet rhythm of steady progress and artistic fulfillment. She no longer felt the need to prove her worth to anyone. Her intrinsic value was self-evident in every brushstroke, every crafted piece. This was a deep, abiding happiness that resonated from within, a stark contrast to the fleeting pleasures of her unfulfilling corporate job. The connection with Emily had blossomed into something truly beautiful, free from old tensions and competitive undercurrents. They shared successes and navigated challenges, not as rivals but as allies, each celebrating the other's distinct journey. Emily's pioneering spirit was a source of admiration, not envy, and Sarah's creative achievements were met with genuine respect. This mutual appreciation added an immeasurable richness to their lives, solidifying a bond once seemed fragile. Their parents, witnessing the authentic joy radiating from both daughters, found their own peace, knowing each had found her true calling, independent of external expectations. Life had taught Sarah profound lessons, etching wisdom into her soul with every setback overcome and every triumph celebrated. She understood now that true success was not measured by accolades, but by the quiet satisfaction of living a life aligned with one's deepest values. The financial struggles that once loomed so large had been navigated with a newfound resilience, not through luck, but through diligent work, careful planning, and unwavering community support. This experience, while challenging, had fortified her resolve and sharpened her perspective on what truly mattered. A profound contentment had settled over her days. The simple act of creating, the quiet mornings in her studio, the laughter shared with loved ones, these were the true measures of her abundance. Her life was rich, not just in material comforts, but in purpose, connection, and an unshakable sense of self. Each day brought a renewed sense of joy, not a forced optimism, but a genuine appreciation for the path she had forged. She carried herself with quiet confidence, the wisdom of her journey evident in her calm demeanor and thoughtful gaze. Her future stretched before her, not as a desperate climb, but as a continuous, joyful exploration of her boundless potential. Years had passed since Sarah embarked on her own path, a journey that had blossomed from a quiet seed of discontent into a vibrant garden of fulfillment. The initial struggle, the moments of doubt and financial apprehension, now seemed like distant echoes, mere stepping stones on a path she had bravely carved for herself. Her creative endeavors, once a tentative exploration, had found their rhythm, bringing her a profound sense of purpose that resonated deeply within her soul. Each stroke of the brush, each new idea brought to life, was a testament to her perseverance and the unwavering belief she had finally cultivated in herself. The asterisk happiness she now experienced was not fleeting or dependent on external validation, but rather an enduring state born from authenticity and self-acceptance. It was a tranquil current flowing beneath the surface of her daily life, a constant reminder of the journey she had undertaken to find her true north. The early comparisons with Emily, once a source of quiet anxiety, had long faded into the background. Sarah now understood that their paths, though different, were equally valid, each brimming with its own unique challenges and triumphs. Emily's academic brilliance continued to shine brightly, her contributions to the research team earning her significant accolades, yet their bond had only strengthened, evolving into a mutual admiration free from the shadows of competition. They shared their successes and their occasional struggles with an openness that had been absent in their younger years, a testament to the asterisk wisdom they had both gained about the nature of love and support. This sisterly connection, built on shared vulnerability and genuine encouragement, was a form of asterisk wealth Sarah treasured above all else, a priceless asset that enriched her life in countless ways. Her parents, who had once subtly projected their hopes onto Emily, now looked upon Sarah with a distinct pride that warmed her heart. They saw not a reflection of their own ambitions, but the genuine joy of a daughter living a life true to herself. Their quiet support, which had become so vital during her pivotal shift, continued to be a gentle anchor, reminding her that love was unconditional and did not hinge on conventional markers of success. Sarah often reflected on how pivotal their understanding had been, how their acceptance had lifted a silent burden, allowing her to truly spread her wings. The joy of creating, the peace of knowing her own worth, and the richness of her relationships painted a canvas of a life well lived. This journey was a continuous discovery, a gentle unfolding of her potential, where every challenge overcome added another layer of resilience and clarity. She understood that true asterisk wealth wasn't measured in accolades or material possessions, but in the depth of one's connections, the courage to pursue one's passions, and the profound asterisk happiness asterisk found in simply being oneself. Her life had truly blossomed, a unique and beautiful flower in its own right. The lessons learned had transformed her, forging a spirit imbued with asterisk wisdom that guided her every step, ensuring her path remained illuminated by self-acceptance and profound inner peace. Years had passed since Sarah had truly found her footing, each one adding another layer of quiet strength to her spirit. The seeds of passion she had sown so tentatively after her initial struggles had blossomed into a vibrant landscape, a testament to her persistence and self-belief. Her studio, once a place of hesitant experimentation, now pulsed with a serene energy, a haven where ideas took tangible form. She often paused, brush in hand or clay in fingers, to simply breathe in the air of accomplishment that filled the space. It was a profound sense of satisfaction, a deep-seated asterisk happiness that resonated in every fiber of her being. This wasn't the fleeting thrill of external validation, but a steady, radiant warmth that emanated from within, cultivated through years of dedication and understanding. Her definition of asterisk richness had evolved dramatically. It wasn't measured by bank accounts or societal accolades, but by the abundance of meaning in her work, the genuine connections she fostered, and the quiet contentment that accompanied her days. She possessed a wealth of experience, a treasure trove of lessons learned from every misstep and every small victory. The competitive shadows of her past had completely dissipated, replaced by a clear vision of her own unique path. This journey had taught her an invaluable lesson. True prosperity lay in living authentically and pursuing what truly ignited her soul. This realization brought her a daily asterisk joy that transcended external circumstances, a consistent uplift that made her feel truly alive. Reflecting on the early days of comparison and self-doubt, Sarah now viewed them not as failures, but as essential steps on her transformative journey. The asterisk wisdom she had accumulated allowed her to see the intricate tapestry of her life, understanding that every thread, even the tangled ones, contributed to the beauty of the whole. She had learned to trust her intuition, to embrace vulnerability, and to recognize that true strength lay in self-acceptance. Her relationship with Emily, once fraught with unspoken tension, had matured into a bond of unwavering support and mutual admiration. There was a quiet pride in her parents' eyes, a knowing glance that conveyed their understanding and acceptance of the woman she had become, completely independent of any external measures. Sarah's life was now a living testament to the powerful truth that one's greatest accomplishment is the embrace of their own singular destiny. She was deeply, profoundly content. Years had passed since Sarah had last felt the oppressive weight of comparison, a distant echo from a life she had purposefully reshaped. Her studio, now a vibrant extension of her soul, hummed with the quiet energy of creation. Each brushstroke, each delicate detail she added to her pieces, was a testament to the journey she had embarked upon, a path carved not by expectation but by genuine passion. The initial struggles, the frustrating missteps, and the looming financial anxieties were now memories, valuable lessons etched into the fabric of her being. She often reflected on those earlier days with a sense of profound gratitude, understanding that every single challenge had been a necessary step, shaping her into the person she was today. There was an undeniable sense of *** happiness that permeated her days, a deep-seated contentment that resonated through every aspect of her existence. It wasn't a fleeting euphoria, but a quiet, enduring state of being that had blossomed from within, nurtured by the relentless pursuit of her true calling. Her relationship with Emily had truly blossomed into something extraordinary, far surpassing the earlier, more complex dynamic. Their conversations were now rich with shared experiences, mutual admiration, and genuine support, a testament to the strong bond they had forged through vulnerability and understanding. Emily, with her own significant achievements in the research world, often sought Sarah's artistic perspective, appreciating a different kind of brilliance. This exchange of ideas, the respect they held for each other's distinct journeys, added an immeasurable ** joy to Sarah's life. She understood now that true ** wealth was not solely measured by external accolades or financial success, but by the richness of her relationships, the freedom to pursue her art, and the profound peace she felt in her heart. She had learned to embrace her unique timeline, recognizing that her path, though different, was equally valid and ultimately led her to a fulfilling existence. This newfound perspective, born from years of introspection and practical application, was a profound source of ** wisdom she carried with her, a guiding light that informed her choices and allowed her to approach new opportunities with a calm and confident demeanor. Sarah knew with absolute certainty that she was exactly where she was meant to be, a testament to the power of self-acceptance and the courage to forge one's own destiny.